you've got to be watering some kind of garden, some kind of plant all the time. And, whatever you're putting your energy into is the thing that's going to grow. So if the energy is going into the, I wish I was doing, then it's not, then you're still not doing, but it's not as easy as just switching it over. There's something wrong with that process. And I think for me, I've had more therapy in the last 2 years than I've ever had in my whole life. And that has really helped me to actually start to understand what the flags are. Because a lot of the time you'll just sit there, you won't be doing it, and you'll be like, why am I not doing it? There's an answer to that question, but we don't have access to that answer. Most of the time, I don't think we have it by default. Some people might, and amazing. I'm so happy for them. But we sit in this funk, and it feels like a knot or like a nasty stormy cloud. And sometimes the wrong therapist or any therapist, you don't even want to dip your head above the fucking clouds. That's scary. Like, you want to get there, but you'd actually rather stay where you are, because at least that, like, diving into the unknown. And I'm trying to advocate for it because it's helped my life so much to understand and also to not beat myself up if I'm taking more downtime than I expected. It's like knowing that I'm actually watering that garden and I'm doing it for tomorrow, or working a better 5 days than I could do, or trying to bust my ass 7 days in a row. These things, if you can see it objectively, you can really appreciate what you're doing for your general productivity as well as your mood and everything, and you're actually benefiting all the time, and then you can actually enjoy that time off. But yeah, it's a deep thing. Everyone's got their own their own guilts or their own things that they've picked up along the way through parents, through life, or whatever. And therapy's maintenance. It's boring, it sucks to do, but it can become beneficial once it starts feeling like, this is actually helping me and my life feels better for this. So yeah.
I think the something that I found quite interesting, I don't know if you ever, this is going to sound like I'm totally devaluing everything you said, I promise I'm not. Do you ever watch Rick and Morty?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
that's where that therapy quote comes from. That like therapy is.
That's what
it was literally. I was just wondering, for those who watch Rick and Morty, it stuck with me. I love that scene.
No, it's a great scene.
It might be the pinnacle moment of the whole series for me. Actually, Ooh. I think it might be. Rick is sitting there as a pickle and just having his ass handed to him, and that's how it feels, right? You had the choice. You choose to be the pickle, but
don't be the pickle. That's today's life lesson.
Well, why? Or understand why you're being the pickle and be okay with someone just spelling it out for you, because sometimes we need it spelled out for us. We've got to have that conversation to take it out, get it out of, stop feeding a cyclone. And I if you couldn't tell by now, I'm everything's kind of like anything meaningful is a metaphor or an imagery of some kind, because my subconscious can relate to that. So I feed that more, almost comically at this point. But there's one thing that a good friend of mine, Maxi Kono, taught me, and it was that when you're in a bad energetic place and you're trying to get better, one of the things you've got to bear in mind is that you're like a snow globe. You've shaken up all the snow. If you stop shaking the snow globe, it would be stupid to imagine that the snow globe, all the snow just immediately falls to the ground, right? It's going to float for ages. That energy, it has trajectories, every piece of snow, and that's how the emotion feels, right? So just realizing that it's going to take time for all of that to settle to the ground, and then you've got that peaceful environment, or even just a slightly less turbulent mental environment. It's the same thing as chemically, you can stop producing XYZ hormone that's making you feel worse, but you're not going to immediately flush your system. There's no way that everything can drain that quickly. It's got to run through and switch around. And it's going to take some time, like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, a day. Sometimes it's a week. It really depends on what the imbalance is. And it's this isn't something that anyone ever taught me. So I was never to know that. But that really helps me, knowing that, okay, I can trust that I'm on the right path to start feeling better. Feeling better is going to make me pick up that guitar. But I'm doing the right thing now, and I'm not ready to do it yet. But I'm doing the right thing because I'm now investing. I'm watering that plant. I'm feeding my energy into that thing that is going to calm this thing down. It's really hard to know what that one thing is, but as long as you're moving in the right direction, it's okay. It's just, how can you even do any of that process unless you even are aware of what's going on? And I've spent all my life not knowing what is wrong, so if I don't know, how can I possibly feed it in the right direction? Not to get too overwhelming on that one subject, but everything kind of comes down to that, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah.